Hey guys, Jeffrey's here and welcome to That's right guys, we are back here in the North City. I'm just going to shut my window very quickly because there's someone cutting grass or mowing hedges or something out there. And here we are back at Flyover Gardens. Sorry, no, not Flyover Gardens, Gloucester Gardens. But if you actually look at just the complicated network of roads that dive and duck over and under one another here, you can see why this might be called Flyover Gardens. It is crazy! The amount of detours that I've had to build, the latest one being this little one here to get departing trams up and over the incoming lines. And actually it looks really complex from above. When you sort of narrow it down and zoom in slightly, it does become very simple. So let's start with the actual stops themselves. They're pretty much the same as they were before. We've got this new little loop system here. The actual really complicated loop system I managed to take out because I realised that we actually have that at this end, so we don't need it at this end. Trams and whatever can run wherever they like down these two outside lanes to leave Gloucester Gardens, and then they'll move across into the right departure road once they get to the other end. We do still have some stoppages here. That's mainly caused by either pedestrians crossing or just trams queuing one behind the other. Because for some reason they work on a block system at these roads. One has to wait for the block in front to be clear before they can move forward. So this tram won't block this junction because this tram isn't moving. And it's only once this tram has crossed over this junction that the tram behind will start moving forward. And it sounds like a really cool idea, apart from the fact that it creates huge queues. The queues disperse fairly quickly unless there's another incident like that of trams bunching up. But apart from that, it works out quite nicely. So yes, this is the main stop area, and it's pretty much in the same structure that it was before. And I quite like this now. Vehicles move in and out fairly fluidly, apart from that little blockade on the exit road like I just told you. So then we get to this junction here, and strange things start to happen. We've kept with the original exit here, so the trams dive under this road, join up again over here, and go off on their merry way. That's if they leave from the north side of Gloucester Gardens, heading north. If they're heading south, however, they then have to cross this new flyover. So they go bear right here, they then bear right again, up a very steep slope actually. You need lots of tractive effort to get up that slope. Across this road here, which I'll talk about in a second, and then they connect up with the original exit road at the Pine Avenue crossing, I think I should now call it, and then they carry on how they used to, either bearing left here and then turning right into this new little section here, which again, depending on whether you're turning left or right, just helps with that. And there's also traffic lights. There's no longer traffic lights on this junction, so it keeps vehicles moving. The other option is you go down this way and then turn right onto this new section here, which actually I don't think I need that anymore. I think I might get rid of that. I'll keep it for trolleys, but I'll get rid of it for trams. Because basically I don't think that's necessary. I think trams can actually use the original exit and cope quite nicely with that. But the third option is, and you can see it here as well, go up this way. So come off Hamilton Court, up Linden Street, and then turn onto this flyover, which is Broad Road, which heads over onto this way for trams that are going east on Route 13. That's the south taken care of. We have one more little flyover here, which is for incoming trolleys on Route 32, I believe. And this one here is for outgoing trolleys on Route 31. So it's still very complicated. And actually, this is if you're on the south side, which I might as well talk about now. So if you're on the south side heading south, you go up and over this flyover here and connect up in the usual way. So you can either go up this way or you can carry on across Applegate Street, and that takes you onto Route 8, heading off in that direction, which again, actually, do I need to, no, I might keep that for now. I might use this for another route as well, so it's good to have that extra little option here. But if you're heading north, and you're coming out the south side, you go up onto this section, and then you go over this bridge here, which I mentioned earlier. I think there's actually here, it's been here for quite a few episodes now, so it's not a massive deal. But you come down this way if you're heading east, which in other words is Route 7. And there's a bit of a weird junction here, which I might rebuild at some point, but for now it's alright. But if you're continuing to head north, so if you're Route 32, routes 1 and 2 I believe go this way, yeah, 1, 2, 4 and 12, and also 11 comes in from this way. You go down this 4-track section. Now this is done specifically for this little fly over dive under here. So if you stay in the outside lane, like this one here, you go up and over and down here. Likewise, the outside lane on this side is for vehicles returning. If you stay on the inside lane, then you turn right and you head up towards, this is Route 5, isn't it? Yeah, Routes 3 and 5 head up this way. And then eventually one connects with Route 6 somewhere, but I've forgotten which one and where. But it's, again, it's a really nice working system, and I'm very, very happy with it. So far, it's proved to be very successful. The reason why we've got so many flyovers now is to avoid conflicting vehicle movements. Here is a slight exception, mainly because we've run out of space, but also because, again, I've split it in half. So you've got 2 tracks going onto this side, and then, sorry, 1 track going onto this side, 1 track going onto this side, but they split into 2 at this junction. So it creates more space for vehicles to move into. The only reason there's a single track here is because I haven't dared to rebuild it yet, because there are so many vehicles that use this stretch of track, and as you can see, there's no queues, so it doesn't seem worth it. Same with the exit roads, they're pretty much all single track now, because vehicles can queue up one behind the other quite nicely, and it's only once they're out of Gloucester Gardens that they need to start heading off in their own separate ways, and it all sorts itself out anyway, so there's no problem. The last thing that I've rebuilt in Gloucester Gardens is the incoming road for the north side of the tram stops. Originally it would dive under from here and then up over here, whereas now I've rebuilt it so it loops round this way and then actually dives under here and re-emerges over here. And that was just so that I could build this bridge in more, and it also stopped vehicles, because I think it ended up with traffic lights here, because this road came across like that and then went off and under that way, and it created traffic lights. So even though now the depot exit road and the passenger entrance road are combined, it doesn't cause a problem. So again, it's worth doing and it's worth keeping. And like I said, I am very, very happy with how it looks. Confident enough, in fact, that I believe I'm now ready to redo the bus network. And that is what today's episode is all about. So let me come over here. We're going to close all of our lines. So let me just do that now. And in fact, we're not just going to close them, we're going to delete them too. Because we're starting again, blank canvas, completely starting over. And we're also expanding. So I've sort of earmarked out a small area for the bus depot. I say depot, you know what I mean, like the bus arrivals and departures for Gloucester Gardens. And I'm currently just going around deleting bus-only stops. Because obviously we've got the ones where they meet with the trolley, and we've got the ones where they meet with the trams. And they're going to become critical to the network as well. But I think buses are a really good opportunity for us to come up with like a mini express transit kind of system. Because buses, there's no infrastructure involved whatsoever other than bus stops. So it seems like a really good idea to just have buses sort of zipping in and out of all these different areas. I'll probably explain it a little bit better once we come back from the time lapse. But I'm just going to do this little bit as a live build still, just so I have an opportunity to try and talk you guys through what it is I'm planning. Because I really hope, that was a +1, yeah. I really hope this works out. Because I've been waiting for so long to do this. I wanted to make sure 100% that I had the Gloucester Gardens tram side of things and the trolley side of things sorted out. And at one point I was considering moving the trams into the bus side of Gloucester Gardens, but I think actually trolley and tram kind of go hand in hand because of the whole, you have to have some kind of infrastructure for the vehicles to run on. So that makes sense to me. But the buses you can pretty much put wherever you like. So we've got these 2 more to get rid of by the looks of it. One there, and one there, and one there, and one there. And I believe that is all of them, apart from these ones. It's amazing how I keep missing these. And I'm starting to worry that I might have actually deleted some trolley stops by mistake. Although it doesn't actually look like I have, so that's alright then. Okay, so the areas I've earmarked out, we either have a little area here, or this big area down here. We don't want it to be too far away from the main area of Gloucester Gardens. So the other option, hopefully you can still actually see what I'm doing right now. In fact, let me just pause the recording and come back in case there has been a problem. So bear with me a second, guys. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm back now. Basically, my PC threw me back to desktop, and in the past that has actually paused my recordings. So hopefully now it's all good. Yes, one of the other options I could have is to actually build underneath the original Gloucester Gardens, but again, it's a real mishmash because of all these City Auto lines and the Metro line, which are built underneath. So really, I had sort of painted myself into a bit of a corner. This area down here is the only real logical option as to where to build. And these little pathways here could end up becoming road. This one especially could end up becoming a road. But we're going to enter time-lapse mode now. Hopefully this is a success. I'm crossing my fingers as I speak to make sure that this actually works out. Because, you know, this is a crucial part of the city for me. So it has to work, basically. There's no alternative. It has to work. So once again, we're going into time-lapse mode. Hopefully you guys enjoy the music. For those of you who have asked, since there was no M4J show this week, I will tell you now. The music is by Isaac Wilkins and Taylor Grove, I think it is. Basically, it's the soundtrack from the Nox Crew game show. If you don't know who the Nox Crew are, I suggest that you look them up immediately because they make some fantastic videos indeed. So feel free to check them out. If you go on their YouTube channel, there's links there to their music sites. And yeah, they do some really cool music. So for those of you who have asked me in the past, that's the music I use in my videos. So sit back, enjoy the music, and I will see you on the other side. here it is, guys, the brand new bus depot service station thingy for Gloucester Gardens. As you can see, I've been a little bit busy with the up and unders and the down and overs, if that's how you would say it. Once again, I apologise for constantly building things and deleting them, but actually, I think this time it was worth it. We have this little issue here with this bus sticking out, but that should disappear once this bus moves forward. Overall, I am actually very pleased with this. Considering the small area that it's built in, we've managed to get 8 stops here. And I'm really pleased with how it's gone. I have done some other rebuilding off camera, mainly over here. I've actually rebuilt this area here just to stop there being traffic lights on this junction. And the way of doing that was to split the 2-lane roads into 1-lane roads. And actually, it also creates an extra parking point here for depot return vehicles. We've managed to get supports here, so we don't have a floating road, which I very much prefer. And yeah, it looks better. It looks nicer, even. Just the whole thing looks good. We do have a bit of a steep slope here, but overall it's fine. Let's just say our trams have regenerative braking, and then overall it works out. It makes sense. Something else which I've done off camera is another new bus line. Now this one is a temporary one. It's not going to last forever. Basically what it does is a lap of the map. So there's a stop here, there's a stop here, there's one down here, one here, one here, another one here, and then there's 2 here. There's another one here, and then there's a final one somewhere, and I can't remember where I put it. Oh, it's there. That's the one. And then it goes back via this stop here, and then basically straight back to Gloucester Gardens, which is over here. I believe that's the only route. It doesn't go via anywhere else. But I like it. It's good. It's temporary. As I said, it will be replaced over time, but for now, it's good. Now, for some reason, we have 2 Route 64 vehicles, both running on both running in different lanes, which is very strange. This one only does 1 lap. And the way that I've stopped it from doing more than 1 lap is you actually board the bus here, and you get off the bus here. And I use this stop here because I decided that we've actually got 3 lanes of traffic joining in this one junction. The last thing is a queue of buses blocking this junction. I thought something similar over here, but actually this road is longer. We could always move the stop further to the end, and then that makes up for it. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with how this looks. This little flyover here, I'm not actually sure if we need it. I don't think it's that necessary, really. We could perhaps use it for something. We might just put a pathway across and use it as a connection point to maybe up here. We only have 1 connection to the main area of Gloucester Gardens, and that's via this rather steep path here. We could, of course, build some underground connections. So have a path that loops around here, for example, and joins up with City Auto Express down here. And in fact, I think that's actually more doable than I gave it credit for. We can also link that up this side to this City Auto bit here as well. So we have some connection opportunities. We do still seem to have a vehicle queue here, which is rather frustrating. I think it's just every now and then vehicles bunch up, and then they come to the depot. Like this one here was Route 1, technically line 3, but Route 1. And then here we've got 2 Route 13s queued up with another Route 13 there. Here's some Route 3s, there's another Route 13, another Route 3, another Route 13, some Route 13s here and a Route 10. Finally some Route 4, there's another Route 3 there, another Route 3 here, another Route 3 here. And you can just see how it carries on bunching up. There's another one here. Might even have some coming in from the north at some point as well, from Route 15. And it causes absolute chaos. So it's a bit of a pain in the neck. If I had the space, I would extend these approach roads just to try and stop that from being an issue. But there's not a great deal I can do right now. So sometimes you just have to ignore the queues and it sorts itself out. Other times you do have to interfere. But now I've rebuilt this section here, there isn't really much else left here that could cause queues apart from that little bunching up system. So overall, I think we've actually got ourselves a pretty decent main hub here. And now we've got the buses added to it as well. Although again, it's a little bit of a queue here, which is a pain in the neck. But hopefully, again, this bus will move forward, and then these buses will move forward, and this one can move to where it needs to be. One of the things that I do want to change about the buses is where the depots are. I think over here, although it's good for queuing purposes, I think overall it's actually, again, a bit of a pain. Especially now that we've got real life buses with passengers on travelling down this route as well, which actually I can fix just by turning this into a 3-lane road. Let's do it like that. Like so. The buildings will come back over time. Yeah, overall this is it's a work in progress. These two depots could be moved slightly closer to the hub because this is an awful long way that the vehicles have got to travel. And in this case, you know, it's a lot of empty space that they're travelling under. It's not a problem. They travel 40 metres underground and the buses are empty, so there's not going to be passengers in too much distress of being that far underground on a bus. And then once we actually get to this point here, it sort of sorts itself out. It's just overall, I think the depots should be a little bit closer so that the vehicles are actually, they need to be using 10% of their condition just travelling to and from the hub. They're not even with passengers on board yet, and they're virtually breaking down. So that could be something to think about in later episodes, but for now I am very, very happy with how this has worked out. I like the depot exit road. I like the way the actual vehicle exit roads work as well. And because they're buses, they can actually turn into any of these 3 lanes, and there's no real queues, which is fantastic. We have this one weird slope here, but that's fine because it means passengers can actually connect to the rest of Gloucester Gardens, which is acceptable. We will add some more connections at some point, like a little pathway here, for example, although we'll have to make it probably here actually, so that it doesn't interfere with the tram. And for the sake of sakes, let's do that now. It will still interfere with the tram in that it will create traffic lights, but it's a lot better than getting in the way of these 2 stops. Plus, I can't really imagine that the lights will be red for that long for the road, since they're the only 2 directions that have vehicles running on. So overall, it shouldn't be a problem really. It should be fine. But yes, that's about it for this week's Saturday episode, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. I've gone over a lot of what I've been doing between episodes, so there's a lot of commentary involved. There's the time lapse as well, so we have the nice little bit of music. The last thing I do want to say actually is I did rebuild this stop here as well for line 6, although I haven't actually designated the stops yet, which means so far at the moment the trams do run straight through. That is something else I'm going to have to do, and I will do that off camera between episodes. Again, that was just so that these vehicles here had a bit of a longer journey before they have to worry about intersections and stuff. So it means that these, you can see here already how well it works, and it also means that vehicles returning here don't have to queue as much. So overall, again, it works, and it works well. So yes, that is it for today's episode, guys. We will see you again on Wednesday, but until then, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will see you soon.